North Carolina, my home state, what the hell is wrong with you? Apparently, North Carolina has just fired almost 200 healthcare workers who have refused the vaccine mandates. Now, this apparently is one of the largest ever mass terminations due to vaccine mandates throughout the country. Almost 200 healthcare experts, and yes, these are experts, these are doctors and nurses, these are experts who I am told, of course, we should always trust, have now been fired because they came to a different conclusion than the government. So, of course, we're supposed to trust the experts, so long as, of course, the experts agree with what the politicians say. The minute the experts don't agree with the politicians, they need to be taken care of. They need to be removed to make sure there's no confusion, of course. You don't want the people thinking that, maybe what the government's saying isn't 100% right all the time. Maybe me as a, individual case might need something else, might need something different. These people, it is insane. They were actually running things saying anti-vaxxers at hospitals have been removed. These people aren't anti-vax. These people are not anti-vax. I am not anti-vax. I love vaccines. I think they're great. I say this all the time. Vaccines basically make us superhuman, I love, love, love the idea of vaccination. I'm vaccinated. My wife's vaccinated. My kid's vaccinated. Now, am I vaccinated for COVID? No. Why? Because I went to a doctor. And with my pre-existing condition, my doctor said, you know what? I do not think it's really smart for you to get the vaccination. You've already had the illness. And he said, there's really no point for me getting vaccinated because I already had it. That is what he, a medical expert, told me. That is what my doctor told me. Now, your doctor might say something totally different. Your doctor might say, you know what? You already had COVID, but by the data I see, I think you should still get vaccinated. That could be your doctor. Maybe your doctor's right. I don't know. But the reality is they're both healthcare experts. They're both experts in their field. Both of their opinions should be taken very seriously in this regard. But of course we're now firing the healthcare experts who might disagree with the government. We're trying to find ways, of course, to pick them out. So yes, today they're not firing people who didn't recommend the vaccine, but they're firing the people who won't get it themselves. That's, again, an easy way to start weeding them out. And tell me, how is someone who's even a little bit hesitant on vaccination supposed to trust their doctor? I say go to your doctor. I say go to your doctor and see what they say, because they know better than I do. I am not an expert in healthcare. I just am not. All right? I'm a bumbling buffoon. I know nothing when it comes to healthcare, so I went to a doctor, as you should too. But if someone who's hesitant on vaccines goes to a doctor, and that doctor says, I think you should get the vaccine. Well, when he just heard the fact that almost all these doctors who didn't get it have been removed, how are they supposed to at all trust this doctor who's not telling them to get the vaccine? This does nothing to help more people get vaccinated. And North Carolina's at a low rate of vaccination, mind you. We're only at 50%. We probably should be higher. Again, I'm pro-vaccine. I think more people should get vaccinated. Of course, more people should talk to their doctor and see if it works for them, right? As the commercials say, talk to your doctor and see if it's right for you. But at the end of the day, if you are removing the people who disagree with whatever the government's saying, how is someone supposed to go to their doctor and trust that the information they're giving them is what they truly believe and not just what the government says they should say? When we go to a doctor, we expect to be treated as individuals. I expect them to look at me and say, don't look at me and say, okay, you're in your late 20s and you're a male, so that means you need to do X. Nah, I want them to take my blood pressure. I want them to, of course, check and I want to check everything, right? I want to make sure that, hey, in your particular individual case, this is what you should do. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, well, people in your age bracket and your demographic should do X. I want to hear, we have looked at your results. We have looked at the data and said that I think for you should do X. But of course, that's not how the government works. The government looks at it all as a collective group, obviously. They look at the vaccination rates and say, we don't have enough people to be vaccinated. Not enough people are vaccinated. They don't even talk about, okay, how many people got the first shot and had a bad reaction? And so their doctor told them not to get another one. How many people went to a doctor and just said, hey, I went through X, Y, and Z. Should I get the shot? And the doctor told them no. We have no idea how many people have chosen not to get a vaccine because it was their doctor's recommendation. Right now, I can't go to a place like New York where they have vaccine restrictions because I followed my doctor's advice. My doctor said don't get it. And the only way I can even operate if I went to New York City is if I went against my doctor's recommendation. If I went against a medical expert, I could then do stuff in New York City. Part of the reason why I'm not going back to New York City anytime soon. Again, they ask us to always trust the experts. Then the expert I went to see told me something different than what the government says, and the government gets furious. I'm telling you, it's not going to stop at these workers who are being fired right now for not getting the vaccine. It will soon be any doctor who gets caught not recommending the vaccine will be fired. Just you wait and see. It will happen. Because right now, they don't care about individuals. They do not care about individuals. They care about that big number. How big of a percent can we get to be vaccinated? They don't care that there's a possibility that maybe 10, 20, 30% of people in our state might have been told by their doctor in their particular situation it was not right for them. We don't know. We have no idea. That's why we can't mandate it by law. Not even to mention the fact, of course, the moral problems with, of course, mandating a vaccine, period. I mean, I don't have to go into detail about this, but obviously it's a slippery slope to God knows what else. I just look at the history of our government and some of the crazy crap they've done before. And again, I trust the COVID vaccine. I think it's a great thing. I think it is fantastic that we have at least something that can help protect people against COVID. I have friends who are definitely in a situation where if they got COVID, they would probably die. And thank God they were able to get vaccinated. My grandparents are in their 80s. I was so happy to hear they got vaccinated. They had very little ill effect. They felt great afterwards, and now they're at least somewhat protected. Of course, the efficacy of the vaccinations are still kind of up in the air because they're new. But you know what? They had no ill effect. They're in their 80s. I think it was worth the risk for them. But for me, my doctor said no. For my wife, our doctor said no. Why should we be punished for listening to the experts? Why should these people who are experts in their field be punished because they looked at the data and came to a different conclusion than the government wants them to? It's because they are trying to find people, again, to weed them out of the healthcare system. Now, I don't know. Again, North Carolina, I keep hearing all the time, North Carolina, our healthcare system is barely holding it together. We barely have enough people working as is. If COVID is as bad as they say, why do they want to fire workers? Why are they firing healthcare workers? It makes no sense. It just makes zero sense whatsoever. I don't know if we're going to do what, maybe we'll do what New York did. Replace them with National Guard. I don't know about you. I don't really trust the National Guard and do checkups on me personally. And no offense to people in National Guard, obviously. It's just I'd rather talk to the doctor who I've always talked to. I don't know why, if we are really on the verge of our healthcare system collapsing, we would ever think it's a good idea to fire the healthcare experts who have been here since day one, who have been working their asses off since day one, who have been, in a way, heroes since day one, helping people left and right. We're firing them because they looked at the data and said, you know what, as an expert in my field, I am deciding not to be vaccinated. They are an expert in their field. So when they look at their own situation, I trust they're making probably a good decision for themselves. Again, I think vaccines are great. I love vaccines. I don't love government intervention. I do not love government mandates. And God knows I hate the government getting involved in our healthcare system, period. This is a travesty. And it's not just our state of North Carolina. It's happening all over. And again, these are also just the workers who've been fired so far. Like I said before, more of them are coming. More of them are coming. Just you wait and see. And it's not just, again, in North Carolina. It's happening all over the country. We are destroying the system. I said in a couple of videos back, of course, the government comes in, destroys the system, and then, of course, offers itself as the savior of the issue, right? The government creates a problem, then says, hey, we'll save you from that problem. It seems like they're doing that now. I do not know any reason why you would ever want to fire almost 200 healthcare experts when we're already apparently barely holding on as is for healthcare workers. It just makes no sense. Either way, what do you think? Of course, comment below. Do you think that they're going to eventually get to the point where they're firing doctors who simply don't recommend it? I personally think they are. I think this is just the first step. I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. But what do you think? Of course, if you've enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. Of course, like the video. It helps out a lot. And if you aren't already subscribed, man, subscribe. Most people who watch these videos are not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. I have it over in the corner up here saying subscribe just like repeatedly, right? Listen to or, read that. Subscribe. Really helps out a lot. So please subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll be talking again real soon.